This is from Philosophy of Natural History by William Smellie, an introduction, 1836, an old book, covers off it. But I thought this was interesting. I'm gonna lay the phone down. No, I'm not. Or maybe I can. I need a GoPro and it's in the other room. Okay. All the substances we recognize on this earth may be divided into organized and animated, organized and inanimated, and or unorganized, or brute matter. The whole of these possess degrees of perfection, of excellence, or of relative utility, proportion to their stations or ranks in the universe. Change these stations or ranks, and another world would be necessary to contain and support them. Beings must not be contemplated individually, but by their rank and the relations they have with the constituent parts of the general system of nature. Certain results of their natures we consider as evil. Destroy these evils and you annihilate the beings who complain of them. The reciprocal action of the solids and fluids constitute life, and the discontinuation of this action is the natural cause of death. Immortality on this earth, therefore, presupposes another system, for our planet has no relation to immortal beings. Every animal, every plant rises by gentle gradations from an embryo or gelatinous state to a certain degree of perfection, exactly proportioned to their orders of instruction. An assemblage of all the orders of relative perfection constitutes the absolute perfection of the whole. All the planets of this system gravitate toward the sun and toward each other. Our system gravitates toward other systems and they to ours. Thus, the whole universe is linked together by a gradual and almost imperceptible chain of excellences or existences, both animated and inanimate. Were there no other argument in favor of the unity of deity, this uniformity of design, this graduated concatenation of beings, which appears not only from this chapter, but from many other parts of the book, seems to be perfectly irrefragable. Irrefragable. In contemplating man as the head of those animals with which we are acquainted, and view him in connection with the economy of the world around him, it appears obvious that no sentient being whose physical construction was more delicate or whose mental powers were more elevated than those of man could possibly live and be happy here. If such a being really existed, his misery would be extreme. With senses more refined and acute, with perceptions more delicate and penetrating, with a taste so exquisite that the objects around him could by no means gratify it, obliged to feed upon nourishment too gross for his frame, he must be born only to be miserable. For the continuation of his existence would be utterly impossible. Even in our present condition, the sameness and insipidity of objects and pursuits, the futility of pleasure, and the infinite sources of excruciating pain bring constantly to our minds a conviction of the imperfections attendant on our present state of being. Increase our sensibilities, continue the same objects and situation, and no man could bear to live. Let man therefore be contented with the powers and sphere of action assigned him. There is an exact adaptation of his powers, capacities, and desires, both bodily and intellectually, to the scene in which he is being destined to move. His station in the scale of nature is fixed by wisdom. Let him study the works of nature and find in contemplation of all that is beautiful, curious, and wonderful in them proofs of the existence and attributes of a creator. Let him see in his own structure and that of other animals and in the whole economy of the universe, animate and inanimate, the evidences of the wisdom, the skill, the benevolence, and the justice of that great and overruling intelligence who has made all things and who upholds all things. Let him find in the contemplation of the final destiny which is promised him a source of consolation for the imperfections, the pains, the trials, and his present state of being. Let him fill up his rank here with dignity and consider every partial evil be a cause or an effect of general ultimate good. And let him adore and worship that great and good being who has, even in this state of discipline and probation, dispensed so many blessings to alleviate its necessary and unavoidable evils. How's that? No promises there, are there? That's what I like. Not that I don't want the good news, I just don't want good news that's fake. Uncle Arthur told me one time that there's only one thing worse than bad eggs that are labeled bad eggs. And if you've ever had bad eggs, you know how bad that can be. And that's bad eggs labeled good eggs. Because then you've got to deal with it. And that's where we're at. And so it's better that we know where we're headed and we know who we are and we continue to learn, because there aren't any promises. Like the old book here says, it is what it is, and there is beauty out there, and we've got to figure out how to find the balance in it, how to use the beauty to offset the pain, because there's a lot of pain. I'm 72. I don't believe that I've seen more joy than pain. And I don't know many people who have. Some seem to from the outside, but not really. You know, they say that you'd never change your set of issues, and I think that's true. And I often think about being at the top of this funnel and thinking, I would never want to be responsible for all the masses of people under me and then have to live with my decisions. Hard stuff. Anyway, we got to figure out how to be happy. And I know a lot of you do a lot better at it than me. I'm still in adjusting period, but I'm getting there.